coming to you this week from the rough here on hole number 3. I wanted to talk to you about hitting a shot out of the heavier, thick rough. We got 2.5 inches of rain on this Tuesday night, which caused the grass to start growing in here pretty quickly. Looks like we might get a little bit more rain this weekend, and this time of the year is when we really start to see this rough take off and be really thick. And no matter how many times Josh tries to mow it, it's just very thick. Might be shorter, but it's very tough to get a club through. So what I see a lot of the times is players think they have an okay lie, or they try to hit a 3-wood or hybrid out of this stuff. And this time of the year, this golf course plays a lot different than it might play in August. With this rough being the way it currently is, we've got to learn to take our medicine, okay? So I've got a 7-iron here, and I'm not going to swing just like a normal 7-iron. I'm going to change a few things about my setup to make sure that I get as close to that golf ball as possible and don't hit a lot of grass behind that ball, okay? So when I set up to this ball here, okay, as you can tell, the ball's down a little bit and there's a good amount of grass right behind the ball. So if I use my normal swing, I'm going to come in and hit a lot of that grass right behind the ball. That's when it'll grab my club and turn that club, and I'll hit that kind of low hook that none of us want to hit. Okay, so when I'm hitting out of the rough right now, I'm just trying to take my medicine here a little bit. I'm going to choke up on the club about an inch. Okay, so choke up on the club, and I'm going to make my stance more narrow. What this will do is help me hit a little bit more steep into the golf ball. Okay, so I'm going to take, grip up about an inch on the club, get that stance a little bit more narrow and the ball a little bit further back in my stance. Then really try to make sure that I take a swing going down and through that ball and not trying to lift that up. I'm trying to get down to the ground to make sure that ball will pop up and out. If we try to lift up out of the grass, that's when we start rolling it, especially if we try to hit 4-iron, 5-iron, or hybrid, stuff like that. So we're going to choke up about half an inch, get that ball a little further back in my stance, make my stance more narrow, and then make a good aggressive swing down and through the ball. So we get that shot to come out, get up in the air by making that stance more narrow so we get a little bit steeper into it. Make sure these next couple months, learn to take your medicine when you hit it in the rough.